Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Mickle. I'm running for Vice President for Membership, and today I'm going to talk a bit about my platform. So first, all of you know me, but I'm 19, I'm a sophomore, majoring in Political Science BA, minoring in Media Studies and Spanish, and hopefully pursuing the Master of Public Policy 5-year graduate program. I want to keep this brief, but I do want to quickly say why I'm running for this position. Especially over the past year, SAIDA has really been my home here at Penn State. I know a lot of people have said it, but that's because it's true for all of us. This club is so important to me, and I think the most important part of being VP membership is bringing new people into the club, and I want to provide that for others and give back that way. So my vision for the position is sort of split up into this 5 points. Building our community up, increasing our new member retention, broadening our engagement opportunities, expanding our membership programming, and upholding the previous successes of the position. So for community building, I would also really like to host weekly socials instead of bi-weekly. I think increasing our frequency also allows us to alternate between levels of commitment, types of activity, etc. Also, it's going to promote a stronger sense of club unity. It's fantastic how many friendships are built in SAIDA and then cultivated outside of it, but that can leave newer or less connected members feeling left out unless we also have a very strong sense of club unity. Another really important point for community building is starting off strong. I think that the first meeting of fall 2018 was excellent. The speed dating to kick off the buddy program very early on is great, and I think I would work on making the first simulation meeting more accessible. For retention, I would also like to acknowledge really quickly recruitment. I think our recruitment is actually pretty strong, especially in the fall, but with that said, I would want to promote it more through incentivizing staffing with retreat eligibility and utilizing other opportunities such as through the Liberal Arts Network. My plan of action for retention, for initial retention, I would focus on strengthening the first 2 weeks and having more social opportunities. For increasing engagement among less engaged members, I think having a variety of socials would let everyone find their place within SAIDA a bit better, and I would also want to proactively reach out to members that we sort of have dropped off the map and let them know that they are valued at whatever level of commitment they can give. For membership programs, I want to expand the buddy program. I think it was wonderful this year, and I want to expand it by having 2 sign-up waves per semester, also hosting at least 2 buddy socials each semester with a buddy spotlight after each one of them. I also want to be more proactive in checking in with people who are in the buddy program and adjusting pairs if that becomes necessary. Our other sort of membership program this year was the Alumni Mentorship Program run by our Deputy Membership, Shara Han. I would fully support continuing this under the name, ideally, of Alumni Relations Chair, and then working with them to the best of my ability. Finally, I want to talk about our retreats. So our retreats were fantastic this year. I want to really solidify the fall retreat as an annual tradition. I think that the only thing would be refining our programming at the retreats based on this year's feedback. Also, I do really want to expand the amount of opportunities to become eligible for the spring retreat. So one way I would do this is hold at least 2 community service days per semester, and members who participate would receive an hour towards their retreat eligibility. Additionally, for another opportunity, an hour of staffing the fall or spring involvement fair would translate to half an hour of retreat eligibility. For a couple odds and ends, Assassins, a lot of people have very strong feelings about this program. I want to run it on a 2-week timetable and require active membership. And the other sort of odds and ends is a lot of collaboration with the Vice President for Communications. I would want to continue our weekly member spotlights as well as introducing buddy spotlights. And I would really want to also take some suggestions at least a couple times each semester from members for what kind of socials they'd like to see, and then ideally vote between those suggestions. That's time. Okay, so a couple of my qualifications. When I served as politics editor for the Underground Student News Media last semester, it was about 20 hours a week of active commitment, but more importantly, it was always on. I always had to keep an ear and an eye out on how the organization was running and be in touch with everyone across the org. Additionally, I've been responsible, along with our VP membership, for a lot of retention and recruitment efforts in UNCA as president this year, and that's also taught me a lot about scheduling. Additionally, as you can see, I've been involved professionally in SAIDA in a number of ways. In conclusion, thank you all for your consideration. I think I've learned a lot about what goes well in this club, and I think I also bring some great ideas to the table for ways that we can make it even stronger, and I would be absolutely honored to serve as your Vice President for Membership. Thank you. Questions?
you $1,000.
I'd be very happy, Nico. So what I would do, I would really prioritize making some of our events more accessible to members who do not, who feel restricted due to their own finances. I think that there are a number of ways and social ideas that could use funding. Additionally, things like bringing food to meetings is a great idea, but I think at the end of the day, we really do want to prioritize not making people feel excluded because they just don't have the money to do things, and I really, really would prioritize that above anything else. Other questions? Yes?
Would you do the yearbook?
Yes. So I do not want to steal Megan's thunder at all, but I think that is a fantastic idea, and I sincerely hope that whoever, however our e-board looks next year, that we do have a cited yearbook. Yes?
We talked about this a little bit, but in the spring semester, sometimes like just membership at like outside events kind of goes down. Is there any way in which you would kind of want to increase membership or something like that in the spring semester?
Yeah, so I think that for our social schedule, there are two sort of times that I would really want to have exciting socials. The first is during simulation seasons where it's week after week of simulation meetings, and the other point would be starting off strong in the spring. I think that it is kind of tricky just because everyone's busy, but I know that I would do my best and I could personally commit to still running these weekly socials and making sure that exciting things are going on for a variety of different interests and members. Yes?
What's your opinion on a cited prom?
I think that would be a great idea. I think it would be really fun. I'm very open to any and all suggestions for socials, and I think that that would be a good example of sort of a more exciting or sort of headliner social. Trevor?
Something actually that I just thought of. With the timing of the conferences where they're putting each semester, Funk is kind of right after a lot of the recruiting process, and I think it gets a lot of publicity and love from that, but we want to start really putting a lot of energy into Funk and really helping it thrive. How would you use some of your recruiting methods and stuff, and maybe some of the way that you work, your membership sections, help get people really excited for the conference?
That's a good question. One thing that I would want to do is work with the chief of staff of Punk and see if there was any way I could sort of help them run a staffer social almost, or a committee social. On top of that, I just think, once again, making sure that we are having consistent, strong socials all the way through up until Punk, and also maybe investing a bit more into our spring recruitment would be good ways to increase excitement for that. Thank you.
Any more sites?
Ben Martin.
Do you have any ideas regarding the fall retreat in particular, like location or activities regarding that?
Oh boy. Okay, so the fall retreat, I think that one thing that's we need to consider is, although we do have a membership budget, having a fall retreat that is the same as this year would be extremely costly when we don't have a friend's house to go to. So I don't have specific ideas yet, and I do apologize for that, but I would be probably looking for something that's maybe a bit more local and more of like a sort of a night together instead of more of the pseudo camping trip experience that the spring retreat also offers.
15 seconds.
Yes?
If you were any part of the bicycle, what foot would you be in?
Okay, so I would be the frame, or at least like the outside of the frame. It's one of the most visible parts of a bicycle, and if the frame of a bike doesn't look well put together or function properly, even if the bike is great, it's going to be hard to get people to stick around.
All right.